Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news where we'll be talking about a Frenkie de Jong setback for transfers. What a surprise there. Ronaldo to Barcelona or Chelsea. Is Paulo Dybala now a target for Manchester United? Plus the latest on Lisandro Martinez. And I've got to say, a really interesting message I got sent last night that I just want to read out to you. I'm not going to give it any opinion either way. In fact, a lot of it I disagree with, but I do think that as a community we should always be taking both sides and at least evaluating them, and I think it's a very, very interesting thing that I want to bring into the show. So we'll bringing that to you very, very soon. I was going to be live on time. Somebody said, I suppose Goldbridge has given up being live on time now. I was going to be live on time. I've actually just spent the last couple of minutes just taking a deep breath and trying to calm myself down. And I'll tell you for why. I was just about to go live and I saw the United Stand Twitter account tweet something out. And it was basically from via Manchester United, Marcus Rashford. All the energy is going in the right direction. We appreciate your support and we can't wait to be back at Old Trafford. You could say it's PR. I think I replied to that. But then I read the second one and I just had to take a deep breath. A big thank you. We've put a difficult last season behind us, and now we just need to put all our energy into next season and try to win trophies. That's what we are here to do as players. And I just absolutely want to be more. I don't want to moan. I actually don't want to moan, but when I read this, look, Rashford puts himself in this situation because he wants to be the brand. Like, I have no sympathy for Rashford on this. He puts himself in the position where he wants to be the brand of Manchester United because that's good for his brand. I get that. But this is a message from Manchester United. I don't think Marcus Rashford's written this. It's via Manchester United. He's not doing it in the Daily Mail. What's this? I completely disagree with this. I don't even know what this is all about. A big thank you. Thank you for what? Thank you for what? We've put a difficult last season behind us and now we just need to put all our energy into next season and try to win trophies. This is what we do as players. And this is what really made me just have to take a little bit of a calmness before we start this show, because I'm absolutely fed up of this. I'm fed up of this. We are in a spiral of absolute negativity being fed by the club, and they're putting Marcus Rashford forward as the face of the club again, when our face of the club is actually not even training, Ronaldo. They're putting Rashford forward, who's not played well for a year and a half, saying thank you to the fans. We've got to put last season behind us and focus on winning trophies this year. And I'm just like, again, and I'm not blaming Rashford for this. I'm blaming the club. They cannot read the room. They cannot read the room. Richard Arnold was on about this a few weeks ago when he was having his pint about admins and stuff like that. Sack them. They don't know. Do they support this club? Do they go through the troughs of emotions that fans go through? Do they travel down to Brighton like our amazing fans do and have to sing "You're not fit to wear the shirt"? And without kicking a ball this season, we're putting messages out. We need to move out from last season, focus on this season, positive energy, thank you. I mean, we're Manchester United. Not many fans don't see what the positive thing is at the moment. What is the positive? You're enjoying training with a smile on your face. We've bought nobody. We've sold nobody. We've let a new manager down. We've got the same set of players that downed tools last year coming back with a smile on their face saying, trust me, forget about last season, we're going to do it this year. I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. Some people will be positive about it and enjoy it. That's up to you. I personally, and I know there's a lot of people who are with me on this, do not feel that Marcus Rashford or Harry Maguire or Bruno Fernandes coming out with a smile on their face after the first day of training going, thank you, everybody. We're putting all our energy into a new season. Forget about last season. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. If this had happened 20 years ago and a player had played crap under Sir Alex Ferguson, he wouldn't be coming out the first day after training going, thank you, everyone. We're back. Forget about last season. Surely in competitive sport, it would actually be better to have pictures on the dressing room wall of some of the... You know what I would do if I was Erik Ten Hag? I would put pictures up in the dressing room. 5-0, Old Trafford, Liverpool, and put the date on it. Brentford, Brighton, May. I'd put the bad results all around the dressing room wall. I don't know what about this we need to move on from. It's pure Manchester United propaganda brand manipulation. They want you to forget about last season because they want a clean, all of them, the players, the CEO, the director of football, they all want a clean slate. And they don't deserve it. The only one who deserves a clean slate is Erik Ten Hag, Cristiano Ronaldo, David De Gea, and any new players we bring in. But this is what Man United is. It's a brand. We've got to please the sponsors. We've got to be this positive brand. And they never, ever, ever, ever acknowledge failure, because that's not what a brand can do. And this is why we never move on, because it's like, forget about last season, put a smile on your face and go again. No, learn from last season. Remember last season. Remember what you put your fans through. I think it's a disgrace that fans had to travel all over Europe and England to watch that crap. Don't forget about last season. People don't forget about last season when they look at their bank account and what they spent following that rubbish. Like, acknowledge last season. Don't bloody sweep it under the carpet. And you know what as well? Whatever you think, this is just typical United as well. I've seen so many quotes from Rashford over the last 4 days. Like, why is Rashford the face of Manchester United at the moment? Oh, I wonder why. Because Ronaldo's going to leave. So Rashford's going to be the superstar. Based on what? He's done nothing for 18 months. Why are you giving him that pressure? Why is he taking that pressure on board? I like Rashford. I think there's a good player there. But this is the mistake. Everyone said this about Rashford. He's too much in the public eye as a footballer. I'm not talking about what he does off the field and how he's had his awards and everything. He deserves that. But why are we fronting Rashford up as the player, as the club's player? Because he's got a big brand behind him. It's typical. We don't know how to read the room, Manchester United. I'm getting tired of it. I'm tired of it. Papering the cracks. You are having a bad summer. Stop trying to pretend you're having a good one and do something about it. Why wasn't this energy and effort there talking about you? Rashid, I'll tell you something about Manchester United. It's very, very simple. They're brilliant at talking a good game. They're absolutely crap at delivering a good game. And as I've said before, Erik Ten Hag is going to have to work a miracle here. He really is. Anyway, look, I wanted to get that off my chest because it explains why I was a little bit late for the start of the show, because this wasn't meant to be the start of the show. I just was ready to go at 10 o'clock. I saw these quotes and I just thought, I grabbed my pen and went like that. And I thought, I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of the Manchester United brand machine. I actually cannot believe it. To front up a player who had an appalling season and thank the fans and say, all the energy's on the new season, we're going to forget a difficult season. I mean, where are you going to learn the lessons then? You've not been and bought your mirrors, have you? Look in the bloody mirror. Stop talking and a little less conversation, a little more action, please. That's what we want to see. Hi Mark, first super chat for me, more to come. Thoughts on getting Dembele on a free if he doesn't sign an extension, says Joshua. Well look, let's dive straight into the Manchester United transfer news because that's what we're here for. Morning Mark, it's sad to agree with LVG, we are a commercial club. Joshua says, hi Mark, we've done that one from Joshua, haven't we, as well? Thank you very much. Okay, look, let's hit straight in on this. Jong transfer blow. So, look, I don't want to start the show like this. John says he doesn't like the club at the moment. I don't think many people do. I think everyone loves Manchester United. They just can't stand the way the club is run. I've got some interesting stuff coming in from The Athletic about what Ronaldo has been saying as well. But we're going to start off about Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong is... there's an issue with Frenkie de Jong. Romano was on about it last night. A few people have been on about it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on de Jong, and I've actually quite enjoyed the last week and a half where it's not been about de Jong. I think the sad thing is most people are bored of de Jong. Very, very good player, but yeah, it's been a very boring transfer. So Manchester United are going on tour on Friday. We've still not signed Malacia. As I understand it, Malacia was meant to be an official player last night. Now there's a visa issue. I personally think Man United might do something clever here and do a double announcement. I mean, Malacia is a backup left back. Eriksen may well be a squad player as well. I suspect they may announce them both together as a double signing. They're working hard to get Lisandro Martinez done, which we'll talk about in a minute. Welcome to Members Club Space. But it is looking increasingly unlikely that Manchester United will sign Frenkie de Jong this week. They are nowhere near medicals, official announcements, and United are flying out on Friday. So a deal we've been working on since late April. I know it came official publicly in early May, but we've been working on this before that. You know, Gerard Romero didn't spot that deal on the first minute. We've been working on it a couple of weeks before that. We've now been working on this deal for coming up for 3 months, and it's still not a Manchester United player. As I've always been told with de Jong, this is about Barcelona. This is about when Barcelona want to sell this player, i.e. they want to get some players in before they say they've got money from de Jong. Financial issues. Man United are basically waiting cap in hand to get this deal done. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's risky. Of course, it's all those things. Effectively, Manchester United have put all their eggs in the Frenkie de Jong basket. And to be blunt, within that basket is Barcelona saying, we'll sell him when we're good and ready. We don't care about your tour or your season preparations. We care about ourselves. United have got no power to push this deal quick and never have had any power to push this deal through quickly. We've always been beholden to Barcelona. And then you've also got a player who, let's be honest, is absolutely praying that this deal falls through and he gets to stay at Barcelona. Even now, he still wants to stay at Barcelona. So there is a risk element there. Of course there is. Barcelona are in control and Frenkie de Jong doesn't want to come. He will come. He will come because Barcelona want to sell him financially. They can't keep him. But it's a mess. It's a mess. He's not going to be on the tour. We've put all our transfer budgets, all our transfer hope into this one deal, and it's not gone to plan. The reality is not gone to plan. If you're going to buy, I mean, look, other clubs will laugh at us. Our statement marquee signing is Frenkie de Jong. He's still not here and he doesn't actually want to be here. Man City's statement signing is Erling Haaland. He's training with Man City. Darwin Núñez is Liverpool's statement marquee signing. He's training with Liverpool right now. When is Frenkie de Jong actually going to train with Manchester United? We start playing football in about 4 weeks. If this player is so fundamental to this rebuild and he's our marquee signing, do you not think it would have been a good idea to have him in training and on the tour? And this is what I mean about United and these bloody PR stunts that they put out, getting Rashford and Bruno and everyone else to start talking about positivity and vibes and papering the crack. Fans aren't stupid anymore. How can you put out a player from last season who played rubbish and start talking about vibes for next season when you've spent all summer telling everybody that Frenkie de Jong is the future, this is the player that we're going to build the team around? He's still not here, he still doesn't want to be here, and we're training without him. Like, this is not... It doesn't mean we're not going to win the league next year. Can I just say we're not going to win the league next year? But it's not good preparation, isn't it? And what happens? Piss poor planning leads to bad performance. That's what... It's a well-known saying in the UK, and we're not planning well. I don't care what anybody says. People can say, "Oh, stop being so negative." I don't mind if you want to be positive. I was having this conversation with someone this morning. I don't mind if you want to be positive. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a community. Some people will be positive. That's fine, but I don't have to be, and other people don't have to be. It's very clear to me that we've still got the same set of players that let us down. We've still got the same owners that let us down. We've still got the same board that let us down. The only thing new is Erik ten Hag and a couple of coaches. I mean, where's Erik ten Hag's backroom staff, by the way? Have we just kept everybody? I mean, what is journalism around Manchester United now? Is it basically just be fed crap by the club? Like, is anybody actually deep diving into what the makeup of Erik ten Hag's wider coaching system is? Is it just Erik ten Hag, Steve McLaren and an assistant coach? Have we cleared out all the other shit? Or are we using all of that? I don't know. I just feel disinterested in the club, says Erik. I just can't be bothered anymore with this ownership and the snakes in the dressing room. I'm fed up, says Erik. Winning trophy under Erik ten Hag will be as miraculous as Leicester winning the Premier League, says Luke. And yeah, look, you know, as things stand, Frenkie de Jong is not going to be on that plane on Friday. We expect Malacia, Eriksson and potentially Lisandro Martinez to be on there. But I put a tweet out this morning about this, and I suppose it goes a little bit like this. In a positive sense, we've got 3 new signings on the tour on Friday. That's the positive spin that United will put out. We've got 3 new signings going on tour that Erik ten Hag wanted. The negative people would say we've spent less than £50 million on those players. All 3 of them are arguably bench players. To which somebody'd say, well, it's very good to spend £50 million and get 3 squad players. Why are we buying squad players when the first team's crap? Would be my answer to that. And because look, for me, I want Malacia to start, I want Lisandro Martinez to start, and I want Eriksson to start. But you can't argue with me and say they might all be bench players at the start of the season. You can predict the starting lineup for the first game of the season, and that's assuming Frenkie de Jong comes in. David De Gea, he started last year. Dalot, Maguire, Varane, Shaw, all started last year. So same back 5. Midfield would be De Jong and Fred or McTominay, so 1 change. Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, and God knows who up front. Basically the same team as last year. And It will all just be about whether Erik ten Hag can get us to play better football. If the club was run better and focused on football, not PR, we might see improvements, says Shane. To be honest, our board is worse in transfers, but Frankie de Jong issue is on Ten Hag, says Jake. No, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, look, the reality is Manchester United would not have bought Malacia. They would not have bought Eriksen. They wouldn't be going for de Jong. This is backing your manager. I'm going to read something about that in a little bit, but you're right about that. But I saw somebody in the chat just say it there. I mean, why is Rashford now the face of the club? This is a man who shouldn't even be given a new contract. But the power of some of these players still exists. I don't really want to say this, but I will. I don't actually think there's any change at Manchester United. I think we've been sold another lie. I don't think there is any change. I don't think this director of football is any good. I don't think the CEO is any better than Ed Woodward. I don't think that players have lost any power in that club. I don't think there is any change. And the reason I don't think that, and I'd love to get proved wrong, but I don't think there is any change. I think we've replaced one manager for another manager, and everything else around it is exactly the same. I don't see any change at that club. I still think the power's going to be with the players, with the incompetent board. I don't see any change. I really don't. And I wanted to. I really expected to. But July the 5th now, still not... And look, for me, more important than signing players in one essence is that we've still not sold anybody. Eric Bailly, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams, Phil Jones, Alex Telles, Andreas Pereira. Like, all these players are going to go on tour. Well, Andreas Pereira won't. I think he's still in Brazil. But you know what? These players are still there. They're still training. They're still going on tour. I need to read you this message I got in a moment. You might find it quite interesting. But where do you think United and Arsenal finish? I can't even predict, mate. I can't predict Arsenal, let alone United at the moment. You're right. Ronaldo might be the martyr we need, given the effect on the stock price when he signed. Surely him leaving and saying we are crap will hurt the Glazers, says Matt. Forget the young midfielders that want to be here, says David. And this garbage is going to make waking up between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. in Australia to watch the same garbage as last year. I got tickets to the Crystal Palace game expecting actual signings and Ronaldo, says Dutch. You know what? I've got to say, apologies to everybody who's going to watch these games in Australia, because even I said, at least you'll get to see de Jong and some signings. At this rate, you know, you're not going to see much other than the crap that we had last year, unfortunately. They'll put a smile on the face and pretend they're rock stars, but you're probably not going to see Ronaldo either. Mark, if Chelsea gets Sterling, Neymar and Ronaldo, it'd be impossible for United and Arsenal to get third. Zane, I think it's impossible for Manchester United to get third. Anyway, so that's the latest with de Jong. It's a bit of a setback. We're still hopeful to get Lisandro Martinez. And in fact, I've got an update from Lisandro Martinez. Not personally from him, but yeah, there is an update from, I think it's from The Athletic, about Lisandro Martinez. Let me just get it for you. So Lisandro Martinez again reiterated his desire to leave Ajax during a meeting on Monday. United ideally want to wrap it up the move before departing for Thailand, although Arsenal are battling for the defender's signature. So that's the latest in relation to that right there. But I just wanted to mention this to you. This is in relation to Ronaldo. So let's just touch on Ronaldo here, which will also feed into Dybala. I think this is from The Athletic. Somebody sent me this, so I think it's from The Athletic, but it's certainly from an outlet this morning. During group conversations at Carrington last season, Ronaldo questioned United's executive leadership, and though the club would argue there is growing empowerment at director level, there has not been the impetus of fresh faces ready for Ten Hag's first days on the training pictures. So, you know, an admittance that change hasn't happened as quick as it should have happened this summer. At various stages last season, Ronaldo privately expressed exasperation at United's trajectory and the capabilities of the club to correct course. And informed sources feel the next step in attempts to leave would be to go public. He took similar action in January when, in an interview with Sky Sports, he said, "I think to build up a good thing, sometimes you have to destroy a few things." These are Ronaldo's words. "I remember when I was 18, some older players spoke with me and I took that as having to improve. They know more than me as they have more bad moments. This new generation in general don't accept that if you criticise them. Sponsors will have banked on Ronaldo's presence." Okay, blah, blah, blah. Whether Ronaldo should form part of Ten Hag's strategy is being debated by people at United. For all the club's insistence he is not for sale, there are suspicions that decision makers think it is a suitable opportunity to sell Ronaldo. Yeah, well, that's true. I mentioned that yesterday. The money men at United are ready to cash in on Ronaldo because of the wages. Yeah, I mean, look, on Ronaldo, there was a story last night that he might be being linked to Barcelona. My interpretation of that is that this is exactly what happened last year, where Ronaldo got heavily linked to Man City and it forced us to go and sign a player in 24 hours. Maybe their Barcelona Ronaldo interest is just to spur somebody else into life, whether it be Bayern Munich or Chelsea. Ronaldo's not in training again today. Obviously, we're going on tour on Friday. Wahed, welcome to the members club. It's worrying, but his signings indicate Erik ten Hag really believes there's a lot more to get out of a lot of our current squad, says Joshua. Dice says, this garbage is going to make you have done that one as well. So yeah, the De Jong update, Victoria, was that he's probably not going to go on the tour. Still the deal is being dragged out. Still Manchester United no closer to getting it done. Still Frankie De Jong would love to stay at Barcelona. But, you know, actually, I'm just going to read this to you now because I'm not going to name the person it came from because it's not fair to do it. But I got this message yesterday, and I'll paraphrase it a little bit because we'll be here all day. But I just wanted to read this because it's completely opposite to what I would think. Okay, and it did get me thinking, though, and I think this is the great thing about having a community is that you can get different ideas even when you don't agree with it. So we missed out on the Champions League and still not buying. They're really digging a deep hole, says Abhinav. And Ronaldo has nowhere to go. He's staying, Mark, says Major. I really hope Ronaldo does stay, by the way. I really, really hope he does. On the captaincy, I got told yesterday that Maguire will be the captain next year. Now, whether that would have been the case with Ronaldo, if Ronaldo hadn't said he wanted to leave, I don't know. But, yeah. It's not really breaking news. You can expect that, can't you? So even something like that's no change, isn't it? We had the worst ever Premier League season we've had last year, and we're going to keep the same captain from last year. I mean, anyway, let me read you this. Not this. This is from Mark. Me and my Sophie's 1 year. She hates your voice, probably because I've watched every episode since 300k. Just bought some earpods to save the relationship. Keep up the work, and I'll see you in the team in Australia. Love from New Zealand, says Mark. And well done to you and Sophie. Big shout out to you. Mendes is handling Koundé deal, hence Mendes, not Laporte, not for Ronaldo, says Sravan. There you go. Well, there we go. Okay, so let's just dive. Are you still 90% on De Jong, says Bobby. Yes, I am. I still think it will happen. Yes, I do. Okay, let me just read you this then. So let me just get this up on the screen. Okay, hi Mark, great show. Really enjoyed the community, but just wanted to say a few things about Erik ten Hag and the way Manchester United is currently being run. I fear many Manchester United fans are overhyping Erik ten Hag. As much as I was excited about his appointment, I'm very concerned about some of the things he's done so far as the Manchester United manager. Okay, so staking your whole reputation on a player that you managed a few years ago at Ajax who doesn't want to join Manchester United is a huge risk, and to me looks like a manager who may well be panicking and out of his depth. All of his signings have a touch point with him. Malacia, Dutch, Van der Beek previously with him, De Jong, marquee signing, doesn't even want to come. Martinez, Timber, well, it's Martinez, isn't it? Okay, Manchester United and Erik ten Hag to me look like the perfect fit at the moment. Manchester United are continuing with their lies and spin, as you would say, to promote a new Manchester United under Erik ten Hag, which is solely based around an inexperienced manager from the Eredivisie coming in with ideas to train the team better. What more is there from Ten Hag and Manchester United than that? The signings are uninspiring, the players are the same, and Manchester United are looking down the barrel of the same season as last year. I mean, I disagree with that. I completely disagree with some of that. But what is interesting is that already, I read a lot of things and I listen to a lot of things, and already there are people that are starting to look at things and go, I mean, look, for me, I wanted Erik ten Hag. I really wanted Erik ten Hag. And I still do want Erik ten Hag. But when I read that last night, I was like, I completely disagree with it. I don't want to see people questioning Erik ten Hag, and I don't want that. But I read and listen to a lot of things, and the media are poised. I don't care what anybody says. The media are poised when it comes to Erik ten Hag. I've read a lot about this. There's an underlying issue in relation to Erik ten Hag and everybody we're linked to being Ajax players, Dutch players, or players that have played for him before. That is something that the media are sort of picking up on and going like, whatever you think about Rangnick, he wouldn't have gone for these players. I fear that when Ronaldo leaves, the club will go for Dybala on a free. I need to talk about Dybala in a minute, Edward. But look, I want Ten Hag to do well. I think he is a good coach. I'm very positive about him. He's the one who gets the fresh start for me. If I was to play devil's advocate, and it's difficult to do this, and taking into account that message there, if I had to be constructively critical of Erik ten Hag, what would I say? And I find it difficult, I really do. But I suppose in the interests of looking at both sides, I would say this. I don't know why we're so obsessed with a marquee signing that doesn't want to be here. That worries me a little bit. It's risky. On top of that, it's one player. I said this last night. One player cannot be your rebuild. Like one player cannot do it. Look at Pep. Look at Ten Hag. Look at Klopp. That worries me a little bit. Steve McLaren worries me a little bit. Is there any other Premier League club that would think Steve McLaren was a good appointment? Erik ten Hag does because he's worked with him before. This could be a masterstroke. It could be naive. He's never managed in this league before. I agree with that. But those things don't massively bother me. One thing that does bother me a little bit, in fact, if everyone had to pick, let's play a little bit of a game in the chat. We all want Ten Hag to do well. We're all fully behind Erik ten Hag. But if you had to say one thing, whether it's a sentence or not, put it in the chat or put it in the comments below. One thing about Ten Hag that concerns you. Put it down, bit of therapy, we'll all do it, and I'll tell you mine. Frankie de Jong is also an idiot who's ready to take pay cut to give Ronaldo or Lewandowski how fragile his ego should be to stay at Barcelona, says Jay. Okay. I fear that when Ronaldo... Okay, we're going to talk about Dybala in a minute. So the one thing that would worry me about Erik ten Hag is... And look, it fits in with the top of the show. I don't like the way that club and him are just ignoring last season. Lack of hair, says somebody. Lack of experience. I don't like the way they've just ignored last season. I think it's arrogance. I think it's undermining. And I think it's naive. Effectively, the club message, and we've seen it with Rashford doing all the PR stuff, Maguire, Bruno, they'll all be at it. 3 massive underperformers last year are suddenly, let's forget last season and start again. It's exactly the attitude Ten Hag's got. It's exactly the attitude the club's got. They basically want to write off last season. But what they don't realise in their stupidity is that last season wasn't because of Rangnick. The season was over before Rangnick even came in. That was Solskjaer. Solskjaer was here for 3 years. You built Solskjaer up as this great thing. What the club don't forget, this is why they try to blame Rangnick. They don't want you to think about Solskjaer because go back 3 years, the club did exactly the same with Solskjaer as they're doing now with Ten Hag. 3-year plan. We've got some great potential here. Mourinho didn't get the best out of the potential that we've got. It's a 3-year plan. We know what we're on about. Exactly what they're doing now. Exactly what they're doing now. But they try and make you think last season was about Rangnick. But actually, who created last season? Solskjaer and the club, and many of the people are still here now. My problem with the club at the moment, and there are many, is that they've basically written off last season and trying to pretend it never happened, and they're basically giving everybody a new chance. Now, Rangnick was very clear that some of these players needed kicking out. The fans were very clear that some of these players need kicking out. The club and Ten Hag have decided nobody needs kicking out. Everybody deserves a second chance. But I'm telling you now, under Sir Alex Ferguson, or at Liverpool, or at Man City, or at Chelsea, if they'd had a season like last year, there is no way half that first team would be back this year. All our first team is back this year. And that's my big concern with Ten Hag, is that for whatever reason, he's decided that this team deserves another chance. And I don't agree with that. That would be my only issue with Ten Hag if I had to find one. But I'm massively behind this man. I think he's a great coach, and I think he's hopefully going to have a great future at United. But there are people starting to say, well, look at his signings. Look at how happy he is with his signings. Look at, he doesn't seem that bothered. It's all about the coaching. And what I would say to that is that I think Erik ten Hag signed the contract. We don't know what contract he signed. I would have hoped he would have signed a contract saying he wants 200 million in his first year. Probably hasn't done that. Maybe he's happy with 80 million in his first year. I don't know. But it's very clear that United are very happy with Erik ten Hag, because at the moment, he's going to use all the players they've already bought. He's quite happy to take the pieces of Mourinho's jigsaw and Van Gaal's jigsaw and Solskjaer's jigsaw and try and make a picture out of it. Well, this is music to Manchester United's board's ear, because they don't have to sell these players that they can't sell. They don't have to buy expensive replacements. Basically, Ten Hag is coming in to work a miracle with everybody else's signings at the moment. Nothing's new about United at the moment. We are basically Mourinho, Van Gaal, Solskjaer signings and a bit of youth. And he's got to get the best out of that. That's not what I expected this summer to be. I don't think it's what many people expected this summer to be. Anybody you listen to, whether you respect them or not, whether it's an ex-player, whether it's in the media, whether it's a fan, everybody expected this team to be dismantled and rebuilt with signings. And where we are at the moment, that's not happening. This is really about get a new coach in who can coach players and see what happens. And again, we go back to what we said at the start. This is about papering the cracks and giving players who don't deserve a chance another chance. Maybe they'll prove us wrong, but have they proved us wrong in the past? We'll have to wait and see. It's the manager's fault for what is happening right now to some degree, says Scott. He pushes for Frankie the whole window, a player that does not want to come to United instead of going for Othermans, Tillemans or Neves, says Scott. At the weekend, all Frankie de Jong had to say, I will take a pay cut as I want to stay and hopefully it will put an end to this crap, says Ronald. Erik ten Hag feels like a continuation of jobs for the boys with his signings. Hopefully it works out, says Charles. I think we're going to see a massive improvement under Erik ten Hag in relation to the way that we play, but I do worry about the quality of player that he's got, because it doesn't, I've seen Rochdale come to Manchester United, Derby come to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup and players off the park because they play better football, but they're not in the Premier League. Quality can you still need quality to take you where you need to be, no matter how good your football is. Ronaldo's not posted on social media for 4 days, says Mejak. Erik ten Hag feels like I've done that one as well. Let me just talk to you about Dybala. In relation to Dybala, we got linked to Dybala last night. Now, my understanding is that Dybala's going to go to Inter Milan. He's on a free, isn't he, from Juventus? I like Dybala. I'm a big fan of Italian football, and Juventus would be my team and always has been. But as much as I like Dybala, and I think he is a bit of a hipster sort of player, there's no queue for Dybala from Premier League clubs. Liverpool aren't in for him. Man City aren't in for him. Bayern Munich aren't in for him. Barcelona aren't in for him. Real Madrid aren't in for him. Chelsea aren't in for him. He's free and nobody's queuing up for him. It stinks of a United signing, basically. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we did go for Dybala, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he was a complete and utter flop. I don't think he suits the Premier League. I like the player. Don't think he suits the Premier League. I also think he's a player that is coming for a payday. I don't think he's coming to be a hard-working player, which is what Erik ten Hag wants. So I would rather we swerved Dybala, and he is a good player, but I wouldn't be surprised if United did look at that deal, yeah. If Ronaldo goes, I've got no idea who we'll go for. All sorts of names are being thrown out there. The lad at Chelsea, Broha, who was at Southampton, I think. I've heard Jamie Vardy be mentioned. I mean, these are just all speculation names. I really hope we can keep Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's going to stay. Even Ornstein said in today's video that this could be political regarding training. It would be Thursday, as Bruno mentioned, says Diraj. I honestly think he's trying to get the best out of them, and I will behind him. It's about backing the man, says Ozzy Montana. Yeah, look, Ozzy, it's very much a devil's advocate thing led by a message that somebody put out there, but I think you've got to be eyes wide open, effectively. I don't think you can be blind in any aspect of your life. I think you've got to be De Jong or Tillemans plus Anthony, says Rahul. At this moment, I'd probably take Tillemans and Anthony because we need quality and quantity, not just quality. Mustafa says, what scares me the most is that the club was impressed with his interview. Think what can make the Glazers happy more than Erik ten Hag saying, I can work with what I have, says Mustafa. My phone's going. Let me just check it's not anything football related, because you never know. But I do want to come back to that there. Look, nobody's more engaged with Manchester United than I am with regards to how with Erik ten Hag I desperately wanted Erik ten Hag, and everybody knows this. I really want him to do well, but my eyes are wide open because I suppose this is the biggest one. Look, we're not on the pitch, but we are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Sport clubs, not just football. We're one of the biggest sporting clubs in the world. It can swallow anybody up. It really can. This is a massive job for Erik ten Hag. We're huge compared to Ajax. Absolutely huge. Any news on Tielemans, says William. Arsenal. I'm going to do a video on That's Football this morning. He's a massive job for Erik ten Hag, and he will make mistakes, because how can you come into a massive job and not make mistakes? We must allow him to make those mistakes. What I don't like is that, as I said, it feeds into what I said before. I don't like this whole everybody gets another chance, because for fans that's difficult, because when you've seen people walking around Anfield and the Etihad and downing tools at home in the first half at Old Trafford against Liverpool, when you've seen players do that, you want them out. That's the conflict. Erik ten Hag's got every right to say, I'm going to give all these players another go. But when you've seen those players down tools in a Man United shirt, it stays with you. And no matter how much they say about this season's about something else and energy and positivity and forget last season, it's very difficult when you are are we playing a game or are we playing football? Because in football, rivalry matters. When you're watching your team against your biggest rival, and your rival, you can see your rivals crunching into tackles and putting the effort in, and you can see your players not doing that. If it really matters and you love this club, then you're not going to forgive those players for not putting the effort in, no matter how. You can't just say, well, I didn't put any effort in last year, but now I'm going to put any effort in. It's about trust. Erik ten Hag's got to learn for himself, but I think for some fans, it's like there's certain players who wear those shirts where you just would rather they weren't at the club anymore. And really, they shouldn't be at the club anymore. But another manager's come in, and no doubt with the board in their ear saying, we can't sell these players. We spent too much money on them. You've got to get the best out of them. And that's a bit of an ego for Erik ten Hag when you've got the owners saying, we believe you can get the best out of these players. Of course he's going to love that. But that's my big concern about ten Hag. It's not really about De Jong. I think De Jong's a good player. I think it's a risk getting a player that doesn't want to come. I think the transfer activity is abysmal. I think the lack of sales is abysmal. But my big concern is really the fact that he sort of ignored what happened last year. He ignored what Rangnick said. He ignored what the fans have said and has said, no, everyone's going to get another chance. And that, to me, I don't agree with, because I think there has to be accountability at a club of this size. When certain players can't be arsed, they shouldn't be getting second chances. Otherwise, what do we stand for? We're Manchester United. The club should be bigger than any player. And at the moment, I still feel that there's many players in that dressing room that are more powerful than the club because we're ran badly. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to work the miracle. That's my big hope. My big hope is that Harry Maguire turns into prime Franz Beckenbauer, and that Bruno turns into prime De Bruyne, and that Rashford turns into prime Neymar. You know, this is the dream, isn't it? But the reality may not be that. If Dembele doesn't sign an extension with Barca, should we go for him if we can't afford Anthony? Says Joshua. I'm a bit. Joshua, thank you, Smithy, for the super chat, by the way. I'm a bit surprised by how many people keep asking me about Dembele. Like, why? I mean, it's funny sometimes when you do these shows because you get people who just get stuck on a theme. Why would Dembele want to come to Manchester United? Why would Lewandowski want to come to Manchester United? That's my reply. I mean, never say never in football, but why? We're not in the Champions League. We're a running joke. There's been no visible change. What's attractive about Manchester United? You know, if I was Dembele and Ronaldo was staying and we'd bought 5 or 6 good players already, maybe I'd look at that project and go, this looks exciting. But what? We're not exciting because we're not in the Champions League. We're not exciting because we can't win the league. And we're not exciting because there is no project. Like, you're not going to go to Manchester United just because Erik ten Hag's there. Like, there's no project. So I don't know why Dembele would sign for Manchester United over a Chelsea or a PSG. That's my answer to that. I mean, never say never, but I mean, I still think some of our fans are locked into this. We're Manchester United. We're bigger than everybody. We're not. We're really not. Like, the trajectory of this club at the moment is down, and it's still down. Hopefully it's going to start moving up, but I can't see. The only reason Dembele would come to Manchester United or anybody else would be if we were going to pay him £1 million a week or something like that, because money talks. But as a project, I don't see United being that attractive. Take Frankie de Jong. He doesn't want to come. He will come because Barcelona want to sell him, but he doesn't want to come. This Frenkie de Jong transfer is very odd because normally in a transfer, you've got a player that wants to come and then you negotiate with the club who doesn't really want to sell. In this situation, we've got a club that wants to sell and a player that doesn't want to come. We're negotiating with the club that wants to sell, and when they say that it's sold, de Jong's going to have to go, oh, bloody hell, and leave. It's a weird one, isn't it? I think Erik ten Hag should mix with his best players at Ajax, and Ronaldo and some others from United will do it, and I think the club demanded to be in the top 4, and that's it. Don't worry about a trophy, says Mustafa. Mate, I don't even need to tell you this. The club absolutely love 4th place. Manchester United love 4th place. I don't. I don't think a lot of our fans do, but a good season for United. If you could give the Glazers 4th place for the next 10 years, they'd be dancing in the garden. They really would. With the sprinklers on in the Speedos. They'd love it. They'd love... If you could give them 4th place in the next 10 years, doesn't even matter where we go in the Champions League, 4th place next 10 years, they're dancing in the moonlight. Some food for thought, but do you remember how quiet it went on Varane for a few weeks and then announced him at Old Trafford? Maybe United are doing the same for de Jong, says Adam. We say that no player is bigger than the club, but I'd add that no owner is bigger than the club either, says Joseph. And the biggest worry is we are the assists coming from, apart from Bruno, we should get Harvey Barnes, says Paul. This is why I want Anthony. The creativity from the flanks is a disgrace at United. Rashford doesn't put the cross in. Sancho doesn't seem to be able to do it. And it's not really Elanga's game. We're short on the wing, and we're short of creativity on the wing. I want Anthony at the club and Ronaldo staying. I think it would be a revolution. I think Ten Hag is very unhappy with what happened last season, but downplays it publicly. He's only bringing in players he trusts because he sees how toxic the dressing room. I trust his judgment, says Sammy. Look, hopefully we're all behind Erik ten Hag. I can't wait to see us play some football, whether we get new signings or not. I'm interested to see about the defensive line and how we keep the ball, etc. These things are going to be very impressive. But one word of warning that Erik ten Hag should take above anything else. Any criticism of going after de Jong, any criticism of not selling players, any criticism of, being inexperienced. The one thing, if I could say to Erik anything, would be there's vipers in that dressing room. Don't turn your back for more than a few seconds. And there's vipers in that boardroom. Don't turn your back for more than 2 seconds. You can't trust anyone in that club. They will turn you over and stab you in the back to protect themselves. As long as you're open to that, just be wary. No, smiling assassins is what I would call people within that club. And I think he's got a huge job. I'd love to do his job. I think we all would. But as much as I'd love to do that job, it's also probably the most difficult job in football. It really is. And I hope he can do it. He needs a miracle. And I hope he can produce it. While the Glazers are sucking life out of United, City have bought their 11th club, preparing for continued domination. We're in this for the long run, says Rosa. We should sign Isco, Dybala and Asensio. They're probably affordable and are competitive, says Anjan. I don't really want to talk about the bigger picture with Manchester United because I see the domination of Man City continuing for many, many years. I don't see any domination from Manchester United until we get new owners. Who want to run us as a football club. I think the trouble there may be trouble ahead, but we're hoping for a miracle, aren't we? Thanks everyone for watching. We're back at 2 o'clock. Maybe Malice here today, probably not. I'm thinking we're going to do a double signing. Get your comments in below, lots to talk about. But it looks like we're going to be going on tour with Malacia and Eriksen, maybe Lisandro Martinez, probably no de Jong, maybe no Ronaldo. How are you feeling about United at the moment? Is it the summer you expected? Let's see. Thanks for watching. Take care. Smash a like on the video. And don't forget, we're on 369,000 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe. We're on that road to 370. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, so you can get all your notifications when we go live. You never know. We might get another signing at some point. Speak to you in a bit. Take care. Stay safe. Put a smile on your face. And I'll speak to you in a bit.